what is your secret or your message to your players to try and tune that all out when they've got things happening? They got the game Friday, they've got it. 3 of them are going to be sitting up on a stage Saturday. They know that's coming. A lot of things happening here. How do you keep them kind of dialed in?
Well, I mean, make the most important thing the most important thing. And that's, our message all along, whether it's this year or last year or other years where we've been in a similar situation, is like, obviously the stage has become bigger. The games become, if you win, you go on. If you don't, your season's over. And so how can I get myself mentally into a space where I have the capabilities to play my best game individually? And so hopefully experience helps us. And whether that experience was a positive one or a negative one, it's still an experience, and so you can rely on that. This past game Saturday against Clarkson, same thing. I'm sure there were points in the game where some kids were nervous or concerned, and you take all those experiences and hopefully for the next one it helps you. So eliminate the distractions. Early part of the week that we're in, get everything that you need to get done. And so if you need tickets for family or people are coming, figure out how that's all going to work. And so by the time we get on the bus tomorrow afternoon and head up there, they're more relaxed. And then the big thing at the end of it is they got to enjoy it. I mean, Sunday's going to be here quickly, and 6 o'clock's going to be here. And somebody's going to be a national championship team. And so we're 1 of 4. And, can my players enjoy the next 3 or 4 or 5 days? Because all the things that are coming at them, they've earned, they've worked hard to put themselves in a position, and shame on us for not enjoying it. I mean, so it's easy to talk about those things. Now, okay, yeah, you got to get up Friday morning, and now you're going to play, you're a senior, you're playing in possibly your last game. What can I do to take that distraction and eliminate it and focus on what's important?
Just playing a semifinal against Minnesota in Minneapolis, what type of atmosphere are you expecting, and do you anticipate it being kind of like a road game type environment? And if so, how do you kind of deal with that?
Well, it's definitely a road game. We're playing them in their building, so again, to me that's a distraction. There's not a lot to talk about amongst the teams. I mean, we've played each other 5 times already. We played them in the 4 regular season games. We played them in a championship game a couple weeks ago. And so it is what it is. And so what team can go out on this stage, play their best game of the season, and who can execute under the pressure of the game? And generally, whoever does it for the longest period of time and is consistent within the 60 minutes, given goofy things don't happen. One team gets a lot of penalties. There's major penalties. I mean, if it's just a normal game, Minnesota, Wisconsin, somebody's going to do something to make a difference in the game. And so we'll see that, Friday night. But it'll be a great atmosphere. The game, is sold out, prior to the tournament starting, which is an encouraging sign for women's hockey, where I don't know in the past that we've been sold out prior to the tournament actually starting. So it'll be a good crowd. The one thing about Wisconsin fans, they travel well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of red jerseys and people screaming for us. So if you're a player, Minnesota, Wisconsin, you're a coach, Minnesota, Wisconsin, great atmosphere. 2 great teams going at it. The magnitude of the game, the winning team gets to go on and play for the national championship Sunday. So, I mean, this is what we sign up for, and now we get actually to go through it. So it's exciting.
Curly?
Hi, Coach, back here.
Great to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I love it.
I know. So you mentioned it, but going 5-0 against Minnesota this season, you just kind of have to take that out of your mind, and it doesn't matter at this point, even though you've beaten them so many times this year.
You ought to be coaching. I like that analogy. Well, because it's the truth, and so again, it's we know each other well. The players on Minnesota have played with some of our players in rivalry games, world championships. So very familiar with each other. No different than a lot of years where I think last year we played Ohio State 6 times, or 5 or 6 times, and you get to the end, and if you've had a good season, you're going to run into people within our league, and that's what we've seen. So It's roll up your sleeves and, try to play the best game of the year Friday night, and that's what we look forward to and the opportunity. And so again, I talk about, it's the bigger stage, and but again, to me, it's like a lot of things. If I have a test and I'm going into a chemistry test, have I prepared for that test, right? Have I studied for it? And so as I walk into that classroom and I'm about to open up the test, do I feel comfortable? Or haven't I studied much? Did I go out Saturday night and celebrate St. Patty's Day and not get as much studying on Sunday as I wanted to? And all of a sudden Monday, here's the test is at 8:05, and I'm not quite sure. And so there's going to be some hesitation as you go through that exam, where now if I've prepared and I'm well prepared, I should go on the ice, I should go into that classroom confident and be confident when I go on the ice. And so that's how I look at it. And so we'll be prepared. And now can we go on the ice and play with the confidence that we're going to need in trying to execute and win the game?
Talk about preparing. Usually play a team 2 games and then a while in 2 games. Well, here you got them 2 games, a game, and a game. Is the preparation any different from when you face a team from the first time to the 3rd time to the 5th time to the 6th time?
Yeah, I think, each time you're going to play them, again, depending on where you're going to play them. So if we're preparing to play them down in LeBon, it's probably going to be a little bit of different prep than when we play up there, just because the ice sheet is a little bit different. There's not a lot of space behind the net up in Ritter, so things that you have to maybe work on prior to going up there, you'll focus on some areas. And then again, it's like, what are they doing there on their power play? So you can look at their last game and go back on a couple games and look at things. And the big thing is, what's their tendencies? They're doing the same thing with us, what's it look like? But when it comes down to it, is your compete level high? Are you playing, free? And are you executing? And so it's no different than any other sport, any other game that we play is, the preparation is in there. They'll be seeing things and doing things and practicing, but, can I go on the ice and actually execute that? And so, and generally the team that executes that better and manages the puck in certain parts of the ice, probably is going to end up winning the game, given that there's not going to be 8 or 9 penalties for one team and different games that we see over the course of history. But I don't anticipate that happening. So, but we've been together since September, and so working on things, and we look a lot better today than we did in September. And the one thing about this group we talked about in the past, they've been consistent. From day one with our practices, within the weekends, individually, a bunch of them have gotten better over the course of the winter. And now it comes down to, stepping on the ice Friday night and being confident and being comfortable. And if we're in that space, then we're probably going to play a good game.
Are those tendencies different in October and is that how you deal with the power play different in October from March?
I would say so. I think once you step into the playoffs, again, whatever sport you're involved in, I know when I was in the NHL, it was like when you went into the playoff, everything goes up a notch. And so your awareness, your preparation, your focus, everything is more into the details part of the game. And so how can I defend better? Knowing that there's a lot at stake. So if I make one mistake or I miss one assignment, that might, cause the other team to get a scoring chance. It might, cause a team to get a goal. So everything just gets highlighted and everything gets brighter as you enter these type of games. And so it was no different than Saturday against Clarkson. I mean, everything just ranches up a couple notches.
Thanks. Andrew and then Todd.
Coach, kind of to that note, having so many players that this isn't even their first or second Frozen Four they're going to, what kind of advantage does that provide you? And in addition to that, for some of those players, they've gone to this and they've won it all, and for some of them, they didn't last year. What kind of motivation is that?
Well, it's obviously our last game last year, you'd like to leave with a better taste in your mouth, and so again, when you get an experience, whatever it may be in, you can learn from it. And so, you play a bunch of games, and for our upperclassmen, they've been to this tournament before, they've actually won it. And then last year, we came up with just a little bit short in both. One, whether it's a positive or a negative, you can learn from. So as I enter into this weekend, what did I do last year as I entered in that first game against Colgate, and how was my prep, and what maybe can I do to help me play a better game than I did last year if we get to the championship game. So all those things are positives, but it still comes down to going on the ice and playing, competing at a high level, and doing all the little things that we've asked for them to do all year.
Mark, you said earlier something about a normal Wisconsin-Minnesota game, and I wonder if there is such a thing after all these years, because you've played in so many different scenarios, regular season games, playoff championship, NCAA championship. What is a normal game like for you guys, and do you expect anything different out of it now?
No, I guess my definition of normal, when you make that comparison in games that we've played, is that, somebody's going to make a play maybe at the end. I mean, we've gone into overtime, we've been in double overtimes, and so that's sort of the norm. So, if we go into overtime Friday night, that would be a normal Wisconsin-Minnesota game, whether it was regular season, quarterfinal game, national championship game. And the nice thing is, it was great to see LeBon Saturday. I mean, we're fortunate that, we sell out a lot of our games, but, when Kelly scored that second goal, I mean, that's sort of the definition of what noise is about, and loud noise. I mean, because we've seen a lot of good things in LeBon, but yet, when she scored that level of noise, we haven't seen before, heard before. And so when I mentioned normal games, I mean, 20 plus years doing it against Minnesota, I go back a lot of years and pick out 8, 10, 12, 15 games that normal means overtime, somebody makes an unbelievable play, somebody does something to have that team win. And Minnesota's done that to us, and we've done it to them. And so that's what rivalries are all about. You play a team a bunch of different times. The magnitude of the games, the meaning of the games, they're all there. And they've done it, we've done it, and that's what the sports and sporting is all about, getting those opportunities. And we each have an opportunity Friday night.
Mark, with how much of a threat Addie Murphy is on the ice for the Gophers, your group has largely kept her off the score sheet. She doesn't have a goal in the 5 games against you so far this year. How much of an advantage of it is it for your team to keep that threat at bay and maybe keep her in the penalty box a little bit longer?
Yeah, she's a world-class skater. She's got a real good shot. And when she's moving and doing the things on the offensive side of it, she's challenging. And so whether she's scoring a goal or whether she's setting up a play, when she's on the ice and she has the puck, you have to be aware of that. And she just didn't do it this year. She's been doing it since she's, put the Minnesota jersey on. And so, you've got to be aware of her. And so whoever's on the ice, when she's on the ice, Friday night, you just have to be aware of that. And again, can you do enough to eliminate some of her chances? And hopefully, when we talk Friday night after the game, we've done that. It's a long day. I can't. When's the last time we played at 7:30?
But you've done this a few times now, where you have to play through that, wait through that first game, however long it lasts, and then get out there and play. What's the trick to kind of getting through those few hours extra that the other teams don't have?
I think that's probably the worst part of coaching is the waiting. It's more about, have we done enough? Are we prepped the right way? Is there two more things that we need to do? And then it's just getting comfortable with the space you're in. So for the players, it's the same thing. It's like you can't get hyped up at as you enter into Ritter, at whatever time, 6 o'clock or 5:30 Friday night. It's just about managing your emotions, keeping things in check, and then when it's time to get into my routine as far as my prep for a game, then I start, focusing in on what I need to do. But it's trying to stay relaxed, and again, keeping that thing as clear as can be, so there's not anything going on there that's wasting your energy.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming. Yep.